Cehi Butcher Martian. The winner of the hersport Athlete of the Year is Amy Broadhurst. Co-gorgeous more, Amy. Take a seat there. I don't know if it's the good news or the bad news when you win is that you have to speak to me, so.
It's good news.
Just let's talk about last year. I mean, what a phenomenal achievement. Gold medal, European, Commonwealth, the Worlds. Have you had time to reflect on all that, and what have your thoughts been on that?
It was probably like a year of dreams come true, because since I've been boxing since I was 5 years old, and I've always said that I wanted to go to the Olympics, become a world champion, and just win as much as possible. And to achieve everything I did last year was incredible, and something I probably never thought would happen in the 1 year. So it was the best year of my life.
Absolutely. We all enjoyed watching you, didn't we, ladies and gentlemen? Bring me back, though, to the start of the year, because we all remember COVID. I mean, it wasn't ideal preparation. It was hard to get fights, etc., and what was going to happen. So talk to me about your frame of mind at the start of 2022 and how that changed, or how did you get it to change to end up winning 3 gold medals?
Well, at this time last year, I was speaking to a psychologist called Paul, because from 2020, the beginning of 2020 to the beginning of 2022, it just seemed like nothing was ever going to work out, really, because I took 7 months out in 2020 because mentally just nothing was going in my favour. I came back and I was able to spend 3 weeks in Miyazaki for the Olympic training camp, and that was amazing, and it gave me the itch to get to the Olympics. And because of COVID, there was no competitions happening, so it was training, and we were meant to go to Bulgaria then in February of last year, and I got COVID, and so that put me out of the competition. And I just thought, like, it's one thing after another. And the psychologist Paul was brilliant to me, and I still speak to him whenever I'm having tough days. And then this email came in from Tomas Rohan, Katietaylor's manager, and basically saying, would you like to come over? Katie's requested for your help to get ready for the Serrano fight. And straight running into the parents, I was like, look at this is madness. Yeah. And I went and I spent 2 weeks in Connecticut with Katie, and the ball just started rolling from there. It was one thing after another, and it was 2 years of difficult times made worth it for the year that I had. It was amazing.
Katie Taylor was a huge role model for you growing up, wasn't she? So when you go and you're sparring with her, what way did she change you as a boxer? What way did she help you?
Yeah, I remember going over in the plane, I kind of thought, how am I going to get on here? Because this lady's after being a trailblazer for women's boxing, and she's the best that's ever come out of Ireland. And to get into the ring and be able to help her and get the feedback that she gave me. I was able to ask her questions and probably get advice in things that I needed, like what should I work on, or she was just amazing to me. And even she's I had a bad weekend last week, and she was one of the first people to message me and to try and encourage me, and she's just an amazing person, and I'm winning every time because I have someone like her in my corner.
We'll talk about the Bab again a little bit later on. We're going to focus on 2022 first of all. But in terms of what you learned from Katie Taylor, when you came back home, like, what was the message that resonated the most in you?
If you can get into the ring with Katie Taylor and survive and do well against her, I think you can get into the ring with anybody in the world and do very well. So to me, when I went to the World Championships, it was like I probably took it one fight at a time rather than I tended to think too far ahead, and it worked. So it did. Just the belief I had in myself last year all came from Katie and the feedback she was giving me. And I think the more I achieved, the more I was believing in it. Like at the beginning, it was like, right, I'm good, I'm decent enough at this. But then by the end of the year, I was like, I can actually go and do very, very good things in boxing.
I think you're a little bit more than decent, Amy. Yeah. So, but when you're leaving your room and you're in the zone heading up to the ring, what do you be thinking about? How do you calm the nerves?
I don't think you can really calm them. Every time I put the gloves on and they're being wrapped up, I'm kind of thinking, what am I thinking? Why am I in this sport? Because you're getting in and someone's trying to take the head of you, and there's no other way to put it. But the way I look at it is, like, as I said, I've been boxing since I was 5, and I really, really believe that this is what I was born to do. And the way my life has worked out, I truly believe that that's the reason why I'm here, and I genuinely believe there's something bigger waiting for me no matter where I go in boxing. So
we could see the emotion, and it is very emotional when you see athletes winning gold medals or silver or bronze, and what it means to you when the national anthem Around the Vein is being played as well. When you're getting that medal placed on you, who do you think of?
That's a tough question. Who do I think of? Probably just myself. And I think when I won the Worlds, I was standing on the podium and it was just like, I can't believe I'm world champion. It was like a dream come true. And you think back on all the years of setbacks and everything, and it's just that one little moment makes all of the badness and the ups and the downs just disappear. So that's probably what I'd be thinking of. Or like my family be very proud of me. So
that's great. That's lovely to hear that. You mentioned earlier on about the little setback or the little last weekend at the elite finals. Just talk to us about it. Have you had time to process that defeat, and what have you taken away from it?
You're going to probably think I'm absolutely mad for saying it, but the majority of me is actually pretty happy that I lost, because all last year I built up this bubble, and like all expectations was on you. Amy's not going to lose, like she's world champion, she's won this. This is a given to her, she's going to win this, no problem. And that was happening no matter where I went, and it's probably the same for other athletes as well. So to get in and lose in such a close fight, and for that bubble to pop, it was probably the weight of the world off my shoulders. I didn't find the pressure too bad when I was at international competitions, but I found it very, very difficult over here in Ireland, where my home looking at me, and I think like I learned from it. The hunger's back. I was kind of up at the top and finding it very hard to, what do I do next? What do I do next? Now I'm not rock bottom, but I'm back down to square one, and I'm determined to build my way back up again.
It was a different weight. It's a higher weight, it was 66 kilograms. So just explain to us the difference in that and the challenges in going from, was it 62, 63 kilograms up to 66?
Yes. Naturally, I went to the Commonwealth Games at 60 kilos, and just the way things work out in the weight situation, I can't really go 60 kilos. 63 kilos isn't in the Olympics, so it was 66 kilos then, and you're just getting in with bigger girls, stronger girls, and it's I probably stand out a little bit because I'm so small compared to them, but I'm not too fussed about it. I know I'm capable of doing very well. So
the goal then, is Paris still on the cards, the Olympics next year?
Yeah, it's still anywhere for now. I know there's going to be assessments and competitions coming up where I'll get to prove that I'm able to go with 66. So the door is still open for now, and if it closes on me and I don't get to the Olympics in 2024, I'll sit and I'll see what's next for me. Do I go pro, or do I wait around until 2028? Because I've said it in interviews before that I said I wouldn't stop until I got to the Olympics and became Olympic champion. So I don't like breaking promises, and that's a big promise I have to myself. So we'll see what happens, but Paris 2024 is the goal.
And finally as well, I think I read somewhere that you wrote a story when you were 11 years old about yourself going back to Dundalk with an Olympic gold medal and seeing the crowds of people around waiting for you. When you went back to Dundalk with those medals last year, what was that like, and did it live up to what your 11-year-old expectations were?
Yeah, it was amazing, because like I've won a couple of European titles before, and you'd have a crowd at the airport for you, and then you kind of come home and it's quiet, and then I went and I won the world gold medal, and I came back and my whole estate was out for me, and I was like some superstar that's been living there all my whole life, but they've never seen me before. Like I didn't know myself like what was going on, and I found it very emotional. And then I always go back to my primary school that I was at because they're very good to me, and they read out this letter that I wrote, and it's mad to think that that was an 11-year-old girl, and I'm 26 this year, and the dream came true then. It's not an Olympic gold medal, but a world gold medal, and it came true 14, 15 years later. It's madness, it's crazy. The dream was in me, even at that age.
You still got 3 medals though last year, it was good too. Just for young boys and girls watching on this, you know, you wrote that story when you were 11. What advice would you give to them about their dreams and their sporting ambitions?
Just not to give up, because some people may think that the journey is always going to be straightforward, smooth sailing, and I can tell you now 100% that's not the case. And like, you might think you're never going to get to where you really want to be, and just keep pushing and don't give up, and I guarantee you'll get there one way or another.
Well, Amy, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause please for Amy Broadhurst.